Joining me now, another Newsmax TV colleague of mine, J.D. Hayworth, of course, host of Newsmax Prime right here on Newsmax TV. Catch him weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern, right after my show at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Steve. Appreciate the chance to be with you today. And as I was listening to you offer these stories, both Hillary's new ad promising a place for everyone and Mike Pence bemoaning the lack of coverage of what is basically domestic political terrorism. I think what we're going to see here beyond tonight, moving ahead in this debate, we will have a chance to see the power of new media. What do I mean like that? The question becomes, has the American public become sophisticated enough to move past magazine stands and over-the-air television to move to alternative forms of media? Have they moved in great enough numbers to repudiate the media malpractice we are seeing? And make no mistake, the decision, I believe, 3 weeks from yesterday will concern not only who will be the next president of the United States, but where Americans are getting their information. And there is no way to come back from recent days without an overall indictment of the alphabet networks, their cable cousins, the tired old major city daily newspapers, and the once great news magazines, all involved in collusion in favor of Hillary Clinton.
Brilliantly said, and I got to tell you, J.D., they've been caught. They've been caught red-handed. I mean, Glenn Thrush writing to Podesta saying, "I'm a hack. Don't tell anybody." The New York Times letting Hillary pick the quotes. And right on down the line, the CNBC reporter Harwood and his relationship and many, many more. And to those pieces of evidence, Brian Stelter of CNN, who does the Reliable Sources show, says, "I'm proud that, quote-unquote, journalists," he didn't say quote-unquote, I am, "I'm proud that journalists are doing what they're doing because they're defending democracy." So he's got the evidence, he's presented with it, it's overwhelming, and he's defending what they're doing.
Let me offer a friendly amendment to what the young man says. He's not defending democracy, he's defending the Democrat Party. There's a huge difference. And besides that, of course, you see how Woodrow Wilson changed our language. The fact that even some of my so-called conservative brethren talk about a democracy. No, we are a democratic republic, more accurately, a constitutional republic. And what will be interesting to see, did our founders put in place enough safeguards with the Electoral College, put in place enough of a chance for us, and I mean this for all Americans, not one party, not one philosophy, but a chance for us to expose this systemic wrongdoing and take steps prior to the election to make sure that the rigging we've been warned about does not take place. It's worth noting, we had Mike Pence on, obviously the vice presidential nominee of the Republican Party, but also the governor of Indiana. And while Pence was talking about what happened in Orange County, North Carolina, bemoaning that violence, a little reported fact, guess where windows were broken in a Republican headquarters last night? Indiana. Guess where there are serious questions about voter registration today?
Indiana.
Where computer models and filled out the Indiana.
Yep.
So you've got a situation where people have to watch closely, and I trust those watching who are active citizens will do their part wherever they live to be involved in poll watching, to be very, very attentive to what transpires.
Having said all that, I think that if Donald Trump keeps pushing the narrative or tries to go in depth, because you know what Chris Wallace is going to come back with. Professors have studied this, and 31 out of a billion, there's only 31 instances of voter fraud. I think Trump's got to get away from that tonight. I wish he could have with him, I wish he would do it at every appearance he makes. I know he can't have notes. I wish he could read from a line from every one of the indicting emails from Podesta, from Hillary, saying blacks never succeed, right on down the line, needy Latinos, you name it. That's what he's got to let the people know is out there, because that's something the media has no interest in sharing.
And we have a chance tonight to see what kind of candidate in the final analysis Donald Trump will be. Yes, he has broken the mold. Yes, the public seems to embrace that rough-hewn candor. The sentiment has been expressed, Steve, that we know what he's trying to say, even if he doesn't exactly say it. But it is time for Mr. Trump to use the intellect that he often brags about in terms of his Wharton Business School education at Penn, in terms of the deals he has made, to be able to cite cogently those things tonight to make a clear and compelling case against Hillary Clinton, the corrupt media culture, and those who had tried to predetermine our election.
Yeah, and the media is already basically giving it all to Hillary, and they're already looking at the aftermath. Will Trump accept the results of the defeat, and what will it mean? All right, stay where you are. J.D. Hayworth will remain and will be back with us in the next segment, and the two of us will be joined by Ed Klein, New York Times best-selling author, of course, and he has a great new book that we've talked about here on Newsmax Television and this show, and J.D. has as well, Guilty as Sin. And, of course, it refers to one Hillary Clinton. So we'll talk about that, the email revelations, and more. Keep it here. We're coming back.